right, the final session. I don't know about you guys, but that had me like really emotional. I mean, I think seeing so many young women appear and of different colors and from different places with different experiences, turning their pain into purpose is, it's very powerful. Jasmine, thank you for leading that. So thank you all for sticking this out. I know it's been a long day, but hopefully it was informative, it was fun. Hopefully you met some new friends and feel inspired and empowered. And I'd love to end the day before we do start boozing. Great job, Marie. Awesome job. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to just tell you guys a little bit about the foundation because I realize that many of you have never heard of us before, which is fine, and you don't really know what we do. So I just want to take 10 to 15 minutes. Jasmine and I will tell you about the foundation, if that's okay. So I am Sumaira. We already know this. Our slogan is illuminating the darkness of NMOSD and MOGAD. And amongst friends now, because we've spent 6 hours together, I can tell you that I came up with this slogan soon after I came out of the hospital on morphine, and it stuck, and I'm never getting rid of it. And so we have 4 pillars: awareness, community, advocacy, and research. We love colors. I love colors. And we're very, very proud to be patient-led, patient-powered, science-driven, therapy-agnostic. These are just some of our guiding principles: patients always first, empathy always, lead with kindness, and, all of the above. I just want to tell you a little bit about our team, who we are. Without these guys, none of this would be possible. So this is our leadership team. You see Michael and Jill here. Jasmine is here. Hira is here. We have Stephanie from Canada, Chelsea from Ohio, and Guillaume is actually in Paris, France. And this is a perfect segue. Diversity for us, I believe, is a superpower. I think it's a superpower anyway. But our pride and joy of the foundation is our ambassadors. We currently have 60 ambassadors from 22 countries who speak 19 languages, 90% of whom are women. We have 11 caregiver ambassadors and 2 junior ambassadors, and you can see some of our other statistics, but I think diversity is beautiful, and I'm so proud to call all of these amazing human beings, some of whom are here, ambassadors of the foundation. They are patients and caregivers from around the world, and actually now we even have some neurologists who have joined. We've also recently welcomed an MS patient and an autoimmune encephalitis patient. So patients outside of NMOSD and MOGAD are wanting to join the TSF party, and we are here for it because we are inclusive and we love you and we want to support you. Here is our International Medical Advisory Board. Many, many familiar faces, I'm sure, to the doctors, but these are just some of the many people who are working tirelessly every day to care for patients, but also to research NMOSD, MOGAD, and other rare neuroimmune conditions. So how do we raise awareness? Voices of NMO is one way. This was our first program that we launched in 2014. Till date, we have shared about 150 stories. You can see, who do we have up here? Any familiar faces? Well, you can see that they're from all over the world, so that's awesome. We share perspectives from patients, caregivers, clinicians, nurses, advocates, etc. We have these awesome Meet the Author events that we started last year. So I have the honor and privilege of interviewing other rare disease patients who have published books. Nell will be next on my list. But here we have Susanna Cahalan, who has autoimmune encephalitis. Megan O'Rourke, she has a New York Times bestselling book. She has 3 autoimmune diseases. And most recently, Kyle Bryant, who has Friedreich's ataxia. We also love films and raising awareness through cinema. For those of you who don't know, before I got sick with NMO, I was a performer. I was striving to be in Bollywood from the age of 3 until 24. So being in front of a camera and acting and performing and entertaining was just kind of something I've always done. So this is just snippets from Medical Stories. This was a PBS show that we did. It's a special that we did last year. It's an Emmy Award-winning show. Dr. Sean Piddick was also featured in it. We will share the link. I'm biased, but I think it was a great piece to really illustrate what is NMO, the history of NMO, and where are we going. We recently filmed a few vignettes in Europe to showcase the stories of NMOSD in one of our movies, NMO Bonjour, made it as a finalist at the World Health Organization Film Festival. Though I'm a little sour we didn't win. We were one of 90 finalists out of 800 submissions around the world, so I'll take that as a win. Thank you. Of course, education is a big part of what we do. Patient education is what empowers us with knowledge and how we can advocate for ourselves. So we have webinars in multiple languages. We have podcasts. We've now done webinars in 8 languages, again, making our information more accessible. And I should also say that our website is now available in 19 languages. So you can spend hours on our website learning about all of this in your native language. Support system, this is very, very important to me. Just rewinding 9 years ago when I was in Boston, 25, newly diagnosed. I was very alone like all of you guys, and I was terrified, and I couldn't find another patient. Liz was actually my first patient friend that I ever met. And so I said to myself, I gotta find a way to connect all of us together. It doesn't matter where we are. We have the internet now, so we can make the world a much smaller place. So we have support group meetings online now in 8 different countries in many different languages. They're happening on a weekly basis, and they are led by our ambassadors. We do these patient days. So we've done them now in Milwaukee, Dallas, SoCal. Our next one is in Boston, New York City, Cleveland, Paris, Italy, and not Shanghai, it's actually Beijing, I apologize. But we're taking this roadshow across the pond and hoping to connect more patients internationally. Here are some pictures from Dallas. So you'll see Christine Ha, who is arguably the most famous NMO patient after Nell Choi. She is the season 3 winner of Master Chef. She is incredible. We were able to work with her thanks to Horizon. She came to our event. She will be at our Boston event and New York City. She's an absolute inspiration and truly someone who illustrates that this disease will not stop you from doing the things that you love. I have to talk about our unicorns. Our unicorns are the best. I love them so much. We have a pediatric unicorn program, really for the doctors. If you have any pediatric patients, please tell them about this. We send them a care package with unicorns, happy things, stickers, whatever, a note from me. Nothing hurts me more than seeing children get affected by these diseases. So if we can just bring a little bit of joy and color into their life, we try our best. Elevating our rare voice, so advocacy, it's super important. March is NMO Awareness Month. April is MOGAD Awareness Month, and I have to just give our team some credit. Ms. Liz here and Avery and Marie, they secured the first MOGAD proclamations in the United States this year. So this means that 12 states out of the 50 in this country have recognized April as MOGAD Awareness Month. This is a huge step in advocacy, so congratulations, girls. Huge deal. We were also part of developing the European guidelines for NMOSD. Some of our patient ambassadors got to sit in on this. Jasmine was also involved in that process. Here is our Belgian ambassador, Els. This is her at the European Parliament in Brussels. She was advocating on behalf of the foundation, emphasizing the importance of early detection in rare disease and why there needs to be more investment in rare disease. So a very proud moment for her and for the foundation. And this is a few of us. Marie's up there. We went to Capitol Hill in February, got to meet with many members of many decision makers in Capitol Hill and Congress, Senate, and hopefully we get to go back again and keep making our voices louder and louder. Research. We only started funding research back in 2019. And since then, we have funded about $650,000 in research to however many projects that is, but now internationally. So you can go on our website and see all of this. I'm trying to rush so you guys can start drinking, but global impact. So I didn't share this earlier, but it's something that I'm incredibly proud of. I am a child of immigrants. I was born in the U.S., in New Jersey, but my parents immigrated to the U.S. 40 years ago from a very small country called Bangladesh, where actually there isn't a single neuroimmunologist. So patients who get sick with NMOSD and MOGAD in my country do not have access to even a doctor, let alone therapy. So many of them die, many of them go blind and live a horrible life. So a few years ago, I had this moment where I was like, I felt guilty. I was like, what am I doing here just in the US? Like, TSF is great. We're helping a lot of people, but 95% of our patients are actually outside of the US and they don't have a TSF. So how do we bring TSF to the rest of the world? And thanks to my co-pilot, Michael Devlin, right there, 2 years ago, we really started to accelerate our global expansion episode of our foundation. And now we have entities in Canada, Germany, France, Italy, and we'll just keep going as we need to. We were just in the Middle East. We're expanding in the Middle East. Lots of really cool things going on in science and research there. There's so many patients, but zero advocacy. This is the project I'm very excited about. We recently funded a number of doctors in Latin America who are coming up with a document to have a consensus on treatment of NMOSD, so that will be streamlined. This is us in China. So we work with the largest Chinese advocacy group for NMOSD and MOGAD. They have 4,000 patients in their community. And on May 25th, which is celebrated in China as NMO Day, we had this giant billboard in a very busy square in Shanghai. And we're very excited to do this in China. And oh my gosh, this is also ambassador-led. So for March and April awareness months, we have been getting landmarks around the world lit up pink to recognize our cause. So here you see Niagara Falls, you see an arena in Italy, the Zakim Bridge in Boston, the CN Tower in Toronto, the oldest hotel in Denmark, the Empire State Building in New York City. That was awesome. And then, of course, our Global Diagnostics Initiative. So as we all know, getting tested for NMOSD and MOGAD, unfortunately, in the way the world works, it's a privilege, it's not a right. There are so many patients around the world in lower income markets who do not have access to even tests. They don't know what they have, but they're losing their vision, they're paralyzed, they're dying. It's not good. So we feel very passionate about funding projects and initiatives to get diagnostics to parts of the world where it's not accessible. This is, I have to give credit to Michael. He's kind of the brainchild behind this, and he's really driving this. And in Michael, we trust, and I believe that over the next couple of years, if we play our cards right, if we get the right support, we're going to be able to help maybe thousands of patients around the world get diagnosed properly, and then the next step will be getting them treatment. Oh. I went to Mexico recently. I actually went on my first vacation in 3 years. I went by myself. I booked it in 2 weeks. And of course, in true Sumaira form, I couldn't not work when I was on vacation. So I met up with a few Mexican key opinion leaders, Dr. Jose Flores, and we recently funded a project of his to, actually, it's tied to LA, but he's basically researching NMOSD patients in Mexico versus NMO patients in Los Angeles, and how do the outcomes differ based on all kinds of social determinants of health, et cetera. So when I met him in Mexico, he said, Sumaira, I have something I have to confess to you. I was like, tell me. And he said, I took a couple $1,000s from the grant that you gave us, and I put it towards this little side project I'm doing. Long story short, guys, with a very small amount of money, he was able to diagnose 120 new patients in 2 months in Mexico. That's incredible. That's impact. That's real impact. So we want to keep doing more of that work and supporting that work. And lastly, I think this is the last slide. We just announced our new fellowship program. So as part of our Global Diagnostics Initiative, we have just funded 3 short-term diagnostic-focused fellowships at the University of Oxford in the UK under Patty Waters. And our fellows, our first fellows, one is from Iran, one is from Zambia, and the other is from Sri Lanka. They are going to go learn how to diagnose patients with the best of the best folks at Oxford, take that knowledge back with them to their country so that they can then start diagnosing patients. And then this is it. Thank you. We made it. Thank you. And we're done. Oh my gosh. Thank you all so much. I'm happy to answer any questions if anyone has some, but I'm sure I've talked everyone's ears out. But truly, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. This was an amazing day. I know it was long. It might have been cold at times in here, but like I feel just so connected to each and every one of you. And I'm very, very grateful that you were all here today. So thank you. And thank you, Jasmine. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Hira. Thank you, Jill. Thank you, Brand Life. Thank you, Horizon. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, everyone.